Good afternoon to you all. It is a pleasure to be before you and share my experiences that I've had as an individual and also that I feel we had as a family. Our walk has not been that easy, but we have been blessed that we have walked the walk and we're still here to witness what we have gone through. Today we are talking about cancer, how we have survived from the cancer patient and us, the family who were there to support our loved one, what we went through and what we have learned along the way. The biggest problem that we had as a background to this is that our mother passed away. She suffered from cervical cancer. We discovered that she had cervical cancer when it was already in its final stages, and what we were able to do for her was to get her some palliative care, but there was not much that could have been done for her. And from that point, as an individual and also for the whole family, we were not able to go, or rather we did not go for counseling. And because we did not go for counseling, and because we were not able to share our story with anyone out there, we had a story that needed closure before this came through. So closure lacked from the first experience. And then in the second experience, life went on normally until such a time that my sister, her name is Lydia Chiedza Matinanga, started having pains in her chest. And when she started having pains in her chest, there were so many other development symptoms that started coming out until such a time that we decided to take her for tests. To us, the tests were just a formality. That's what we thought. But when we got there, that's when we were hit with the most terrifying news. It meant we were told then that she had stage 3 cancer, breast cancer. So as it were, we started having, or rather I started having flashbacks. I started going back to our mother, and I think I had so many different types of emotions that were happening with me at that particular time. There was fear, there was anxiety. I cannot say I was hopeless, but what I can say was I was searching in my siblings, and I was also searching in my sister who had been diagnosed with the cancer, and everyone else around us to see if they were seeing anything different from me. I told myself several times that I was okay and I would stand and fight and be there with my sister. But one thing that I know is I suffered silently. I lost appetite. I developed some kind of insomnia. I would spend hours during the night awake. And one of the things that happened with me as well was I sort of started avoiding my sister. Instead of going to be with her and comfort her, I felt like running away. Because one of the things that would go through my mind was, what if that time that I'm seeing her is the last time that I'm going to be seeing her? So there was quite a whole lot of hectic emotions within me. But I will thank my family for one thing. We grew up in a very strong Christian background, and we have a very strong belief system. We have been taught to pray when we get into different types of situations, and this is one of the things that we started doing together as a group. Where chain prayers, where we would allocate each other hours to pray during the night, during the day. Sometimes we would have corporate prayers and so on and so forth. We would share different types of prayer points. That move that we made literally made us be together, be in oneness, and I'm sure it is one of the things that helped us a lot. One of the people that I will also give gratitude to is Dr. Mba, our sister's oncologist. In the first instance, she made a whole lot of positive counseling to us, and then one of the things that she did as well was to share a whole lot of information that we did not know about. For example, she would tell us that cancer comes in different ways. There are different types of cancer. Some is aggressive, some are not as aggressive as the others, and so on and so forth. And one of the things she told us was that when it comes to cancer treatment, we can't look at somebody else, another cancer patient, but every case is dealt case by case. And that in itself made us focus on our sister rather than want to run around, go to Google, go to internet, want to find a whole lot of information and stuff like that. We then started putting faith in the information that she was giving us. And I will also appreciate one of the things that she did for us. She had that tough kind of love, where if she was not happy with the kind of care we were giving to our sister, she would be upfront with that. She was very blunt. She helped us in a whole lot of things, and she would give us information as to why things must happen the way that she was instructing us to do. That in itself helped us to go through the whole process until such a time that my sister went through all her cycles of therapy. And after that, we thank God that her results came out, I would say, positive, in the sense that we were told that the therapy was successful. Post period, we are still trying to catch up with our lives, because at some point we stopped living because we had this thing that we had among us that everyone was afraid of, and everyone for that matter was helpless to deal with. So now she is healthy again. We are still reconciling to what she went through. Of course, as a person, I went through a whole lot of different types of situations, but for my sister, I'm even afraid at this point in time to ask her what she went through, what she's going through now. But one thing that I know is our oneness, our belief system, our faith in God, and the kind of help that we got from our sister's doctor, and that will to fight together to push through helped us in the whole processes that went through. I would want to encourage someone who's going through the kind of situation that we are going through, that there is hope after all, whatever result that comes out of it. In my case, my mother passed away. She was not able to recover. But also I have a situation where my sister is fully recovered now. So we know that these circumstances will always come. No one chooses to go through this, but when you do go through it, always remember to put hope ahead of everything, to have love for the one who's going through whatever they are going through, and unite with the family. It's not time to fight, but time to unite and be one. And I thank you for this opportunity that you have given me to share my experiences with you.
My name is Chiedza Matinanga, and Lydia Matinanga is my sister. She's third from me. I'm the firstborn. This issue of cancer is not an easy one. I remember when we discovered that she had cancer, rather that she had a lump in her breast. It was an evening before her daughter was going to get married. Actually, the husband was coming to pay lobola. So we were so excited about it. And on the very day that we were going to come together as a family, that's when we're still in bed, and that's when she said to me, she's got a lump on her breast. And I said to her, okay, fine, let me see how it is. And I was shocked because it was a very big lump. And obviously that, it just like, it was like a bucket of water on us. We were depressed about it, but at the same time we were supposed to be excited about the event that we're going to have as a family. So fine, the day went by, but I was waiting for everything to come to an end so that I would tell my brothers that, you know what, we've got an issue in the family. And this was the second time around when cancer was hitting our family. Before that, our mother was diagnosed with cancer. It was cervical cancer, and when we discovered it, it was on stage 4, and we didn't know anything about cancer, and it was a very difficult journey for us as a family, me and my siblings. But I just thank God, because as a family we are so close. We worked with our mom up to the time that she passed on. Cancer was diagnosed in September, and by March our mother was gone, regardless of having gone through radiation and chemotherapy, and because it was in stage 4. So when we discovered that my sister now with a lump on her breast, you know, it's like you're taken back to where the journey that you had gone through before, which was not a good journey at all. But now you're thinking, what is going to happen? Are we going to lose one of us once again? And being close, the closeness that we have, and we are few. I can say we are few because we are only five siblings. Of course, my sisters-in-law and our children. And now it became a burden on us. So we sat down with my siblings, and we decided to go and have her checked. Apparently she had hidden it from us. When she discovered that she had a lump, she mentioned it, but it wasn't, we didn't take it serious. Probably we didn't take it seriously, because after she mentioned it to us, we took a while, or even more than a year, and she was quiet about it, but we did not know that the lump was growing. And by the time that we discovered that the lump had grown, it was on stage 4. When we discovered that there was a lump, we said, okay, fine, we're going to take her to a doctor, to an oncologist. And apparently where I work, my workplace, I work for a church, we've got an oncologist in the church who used to come and teach us on cancer, the various types of cancers. That's Dr. Mba. So I phoned her, and then she said, okay, fine, you can bring your sister. And I remember that time we didn't have much money on us, finances. They were not, considering what we had gone through with our mother, we were now like looking at what we had on the plate. And we knew that if the costs are going to be the same, obviously this is going to be an even harder journey for us. She went through the test, and it was confirmed that she had breast cancer, and it was on stage 4. So yeah, after that, you know, it's like you are back in the valley, the darkest place to be, because a cancer journey is not an easy journey. You don't know what you're going to go through. You don't know what the affected person is going to go through. So we were imagining things, because we had a record, we had a previous experience. That is what was coming to our minds. Everybody was just scared. My brothers, even if they are men, we were scared because we didn't want to go through what we had gone through with our mother. Fine. We thank God, because one of our brothers and our sister-in-law, they offered that they're going to meet the expenses as we go on with the journey, and we'll see where we're going to get to. So yeah, that was the part. And then my sister, what she was going through, I had to leave my place, my house, my home, and go to live with her, because I was the only person who was there. My brothers are married, and there was no way they would come and stay with her, and my other sister was working out of town, so I had to go and stay with them. I should say that that was the hardest time for me, because in the family I'm one of the people who is so scared when it comes to medical issues. I do not want to be involved in medical issues. I'm just scared of sickness. I'm just scared of seeing someone who is in pain. I'm just scared of seeing a dead person. That is who I am. But at that time, I had no option but to go and stay with my sister. So what we went through initially, it's like we would sleep on the same bed. I remember very well. And I remember that sometimes she would say to me, I can't sleep, I can't breathe well. And while that time we were like waiting to be told when the chemo sessions were going to be. And unfortunately, it was time for COVID also. So it was so scary because with COVID, they were saying people with underlinings, they can easily catch COVID. So we were caught between the rock and the hard place, where there was COVID and there was cancer in the family. But I thank God because my sister did not even catch that COVID. I remember my sister would say to me, I can't breathe. We didn't know what was happening. I cannot breathe, I can't sleep well, and she'd wake up and sit on the bed, and me, I would be like sleeping beside him. What would happen was, sometimes she said to me, no, Mkoma, my sister, go to bed, because tomorrow you're going to go to bed, you're going to go to work. But I couldn't do that because I was scared that if I sleep, what if something happens whilst I'm sleeping and this thing is on stage 4? When she went for a test, they discovered that she had water in one of her lungs. So before the chemo, they said she's supposed to go through drain one fura out of the lung. And now we were scared that probably the cancer had gone into the lungs as well. Sorry, I don't know the medical terms for whatever. So I will just use my simple layman language. So yeah, she went and was in hospital for for 8 days. I remember they had to drain the water out of the excess water out of one of her lungs, and then we were back home after 8 days. And at that time it was winter. Going into hospital was scary. There was COVID. People were dying one after the other, and I can just say it was so scary for me. And I remember at work, at my workplace, thank God they understood my situation. So they would tell me, you don't have to come to work if you don't have to come. Or maybe if you work and you think you're supposed to go back to your sister, you have to go back to your sister. That if I had an all open door, flexi time at work, which helped me also. So after that, she started going through the chemos. That was the hard time. I mean, the hardest time for us, because soon after chemo should go through the after effects a chemo, where she would be like throwing up. She could not eat. But one thing that I remember very well was that my sister never complained, not even a single day. Not even a single day. She would tell me she's in pain. Sometimes she could not eat. Sometimes it was just difficult for me. I could not cry even in her presence. Why? Because if I cried, it meant that I would make her to lose hope, which I didn't want to, and I didn't want to lose my sister. I did not want to lose my sister. So I was there with the kids. I was with Kuzi. I could not was in Mutari, but I was with Kuzi. So we would do the best that we could. Sometimes she would tell me she wants this. We would make something for her, but she would not eat. We went like that for a while. I mean, for all the sessions, as they were coming in, we would know that after every session, there was going to be a hard time. The next 3-4 days were going to be difficult. But like I said, my sister never complained. She never cried. Just like our mother. Our mother never cried. She never made noise. She never even screamed. If she was in pain, I ended up saying to her, you know what, when you are in pain, just let me know you are in pain and I will understand. You know, if somebody's going through something and they're trying to be strong, she was strong for us. I can say that she was stronger than us. We were scared. I know my brothers were scared, my sisters-in-law were scared, our children were scared, I was scared, but she was there, and she didn't show us that she was scared of death, because we were looking at death as far as we were concerned. We were looking at death, but by God's grace, I remember every time the song that gave, by the way, I come from a Christian family, When I say Christian family, I mean a Christian family, deep Christian family. That's how we were brought up. And I remember the song that I would sing, the Holy Spirit just gave me this song, Singori Nyasha Pamsoro Pe Nyasha. It's like I was like pleading with God, putting Vatitire Nyasha. We didn't want to lose. But at the end of the day, I thank God because the Lord provided. Every session was done in time. Every session was paid for. Every time things wanted to be done, whether it was test, it was COVID test, whether it was medication, everything was done in time. This time around, the Lord made us to conquer that animal, the cancer, which took our mother. But this time around, provisions were there. Somehow God provided. Somehow God blessed. Somehow God did his thing. And as we speak today, my sister managed to go through the 6 sessions that she was supposed to go through. She's now on blockers, I understand. Like whatever test that she's supposed to be going through, she's going through as and when they are coming. And the medication is being provided for every month. And this is what I call the God of provision, Jehovah El Shaddai, Jehovah who does things, Jehovah who remembers, the miracle working God. As we speak, my sister is up and going. My sister is doing things that she wants to do. I want to find something to do, whatever I used to do. And fine, we at the same time we are trying to reconcile. Is it true that we went through this journey? We're trying to reconcile. Is it true this is the same person who was lying on that bed, on the deathbed, by the way, on the deathbed? I saw my sister achidona vudzi kushikira ras asara asisina anything mumsoro. I saw my sister achidona tsiya kushikira. I saw my sister dwindling. She's a big person, a full person rather, and I'm smaller than her. But I saw her dwindling to being even smaller than me. But right now I'm seeing the hand of God. She's picking on weight. She's eating well. Yes, here and there, I think because of my blockers. Yes, she can say, but we are at war, we are at peace. Why? Because those are the after effects of what is supposed to be happening when somebody is taking that kind of medication. So what I want to say is, I want to thank God, and I want to say to us, as much as I am scared of going to be tested. By the way, I haven't been tested of any type of cancer up to now because I am scared. But my encouragement to us is, let's go out there, let's go and be tested. Let's know who we are. Do you know, if something is done at an early stage, it's even cheaper and it can be dealt with. If you wait until the last minute, we can be putting ourselves at a risk here, but we can't control it. And God being God, sometimes it's like but because so my encouragement is, let's go and be tested. Let's know our status for whatever it is. Thank you so much. And I want to thank God for my family. I want to thank Kakiwa. I want to thank you, Narumbi. I want to thank Anna. I want to thank Kuku. I want to thank our sons and our daughters just for being there, for being strong. They were not scared. They were scared. I don't know what to say, but they were not scared, but they were scared. Why am I saying they were not scared? They would go, they would hug Tete Vavo, they would go hug Mama Vavo, they would hug their sister, regardless of what was happening, though it was scary. Thank you, my family, for that closeness, for that love. Mweya wokubatirana watakaudzwa na Susan. Mweya wokubatirana. So far you've proved to be good listeners, to be good students. Kana Susan na Thomas. Thank you.
My name is Chiedza Lydia Matinanga, the second daughter of Chiedza Lydia Matinanga. So when I first heard Mama was diagnosed with breast cancer, ductal carcinoma stage 4. I couldn't help myself but cry. I remember my mom making me feel very strong, because we opened the results before we gave the results to the doctor. So she actually told me that she's okay and she's going to fight the cancer. And deep down I knew she was just trying to comfort me, because I remember in 2010 losing my grandmother, my mother, because of cervical cancer. That was on stage 4. That was a stage 4 thing. Moving on, my mom waited for like a month to get histology results before the chemotherapy session. I remember that month was horrible. She couldn't sleep, and the lump started getting bigger. It was growing, so it looked as if she had another breast on top of the other. She couldn't breathe well, and then she had pleural effusion by Dr. Chiedza at Parenyato Hospital for 10 days. That's where she got her chest drain. After that, she started her chemotherapy with Dr. Mba. The first session, I remember the first day, she came back home very well, all good and smiling as usual. And then around 8 p.m. I remember giving her food. After like a minute, she was throwing up. It was really bad, because every time she had food, she would throw up for like 2-3 days, and then she started getting better after a week. We went on to the second, the third, the fourth session. Everything was well, but then she had moments where she would fall, she would lose appetite, her nails were getting black, and she started losing her hair. I think that was the third session. She started losing her hair. The fifth session was okay, and we all didn't expect Mama to reach the fifth session, but with God's grace, she did, and she had the last session, which was the sixth session. Obviously, I wanted my mom to leave, but then the inner side of me was like, Kuzi, you have to be strong. It's either you're going to lose your mom, or she's going to survive. It was a win-lose situation. So I was in that position where I was expecting anything. At first, it was really hard, where you would feed Mama and then she would throw up. But then, since I was there, I had no other option than to clean up the mess and the like. At first, it wasn't well with me. It really wasn't well with me, but I became stronger, because she was the one who was making me stronger by day. She was really strong, and she would actually tell me her plans after chemotherapy. So then I had hope, because she had hope. Now, after the chemotherapy sessions, she's recovering very well. She's gained weight. She's now eating. She has her appetite now, and then her hair started growing. Her color, her skin color is getting better. She's getting a bit light, and then she's very well now and very strong. Not that fit, but then she's way better now. And now it's, for me, I'm very positive that she is very well. She's very well. She's taking her hormonal blockers every day, but everything is going on well.
My name is Caroline Blessing Matinanga. I am Chiedza Lydia Matinanga's young sister. We are 3 girls. We call ourselves the Golden Girls. When I first heard about my sister that she had cancer, I was not around. I was so far away. You can imagine kuti uchinzwa zvinhu zvakadaro ende uri kure zvichinzi munhu waunofarira aita cancer. So I was broken and I couldn't sleep. I used to talk to her on the phone every day, but because I was far away, I was imagining and we all know that when someone has any cancer, all we think of is death. So I was just thinking about death. So what am I going to do? Because like with my sister, she is like a mother to me. We are friends. So I told out my life yatopera. So when I came, I was shattered because she had lost her weight and she didn't have hair. So when I came back, I was so shattered because like she had lost so much weight and her hair rangaradona, my brows and she was just down. But she was someone who was strong. I've never seen her crying. I didn't see her cry. She didn't cry. She was someone who was strong. Even if she had fear or she was worried, it didn't show. She was someone who was strong. I am the one who was crying like all the time because I was seeing that she's just growing. I just want to thank the Lord that she's now okay. She has recovered so much. She's Radzokera back to herself. She's gained her weight and her hair is back. I thank God for the healing because she's now back to herself. She responded to the treatment. Yesterday we were celebrating her 53rd birthday and we want to thank God that she is alive because last year that's when she was going through the chemotherapy and she was really down, but this year we are celebrating and tinotovati munana wedu wegore rino because truly she is our miracle this year.
Hello, my name is Rumbidza and I am a sister-in-law to Chiedza Lydia Matinanga.
Hi.
What's your name?
Reginald. Tapia Matinanga.
I respect you.
I'm the last born in a family of 6, and Chiedza is my sister, number 3 in the family. I'll start with when we discovered that she was not well. After a period where she wasn't outspoken about it, eventually she had to. I think she was in a bad state at that present moment. So when she reached out, that's when we started the process of finding out what exactly is wrong with her and to what extent is the damage. I think when she finally had the guts to tell the family, she knew that this is breast cancer. And for me personally, when it happened, the funny thing that happened is not really funny, but what happened is about 10 years back, when our mother was diagnosed with cervical cancer. On that particular day, every one of my siblings went in with our mother, and the doctor broke the news to them. But on this particular instance, everyone else was committed elsewhere, and I was the only one with her at the doctor's. And it was pretty difficult for me because you don't even know what to say. You don't even know how to respond. I actually wanted to stay behind because I've got this phobia with doctors and hospitals. So I wanted to stay behind, like in the reception area, but the doctor said you have to be here. But I think the first thing was acceptance, and after accepting it, you can't take away the fear, especially after you had lost a mother to cancer, after you had lost a family member to something similar. So you can't take away the fear. But I think at this particular stage, I can't actually say that I was used, or I was used to it, or I was ready for it. But the truth of the matter is, at that stage, I had to accept it, and we had to begin the journey at that stage. So when we began the whole process, we found that she had water in her lungs, which meant they needed to drain the water before they start the chemotherapy, which meant another session of a major operation. And apparently, naturally, whenever something of that nature is happening, right now we go to Dr. Google. Everyone else goes to Dr. Google. So like everybody else, I went to Google, found out that some people actually die from that particular operation where they are draining water. So I actually remember one of the days, in fact the day when they started the process of draining water, I was busy getting one of our cars repaired, and my wife called me and said, Tete is feeling cold. And naturally, when you hear someone is feeling cold, you associate coldness with death, and you're thinking maybe life is slowly getting out of her. I was panicky. I was actually asking you to come and pick me up, right? Mm-hmm. I said, please come and pick me up because the car was still in the middle of getting serviced. But she said, okay, just hold it. I'll be able to handle it. If there's anything that I need from you, that's when I'll come and pick you up. So finally she went through with the whole process, and we discovered it was aircon, right? Mm-hmm. The room that she was in was cold because of the aircon. But yeah, I'm just trying to highlight the fears when you're going through the process, but at the same time you have to go through the process. And moving away from me to her, I honestly have not met a stronger person in my life. The way she fought, the way she was able to handle what was coming to her, I've never seen a stronger person. I remember when they wanted to drain the water, the doctor who drains the water actually asked, how are you surviving? Because 75% of her lungs were saturated in that fluid, and apparently people are supposed to die from that, but she was going on, and somehow by God's grace, she was strong enough to endure that pain or endure that difficulty until we started the process. And I think the other thing that happened was, I remember when our mother was doing third or fourth chemo, and they highlighted that because of her blood pressure, they are not able to do the other round of chemotherapy because of other ailments that were happening within her body. And as for Chiedza, throughout the 6 chemotherapies, their blood pressure and their sugar levels were normal. And I've never met someone stronger, but again, we also have to give glory to God. As for the process, it was difficult for everyone. It's never easy, but I think everyone played their part for us to be here. Where prayers were needed, people were praying. Where hugging was needed, people were hugging. Where messaging was needed, people were messaging. Where people needed to be together, people came together. And the support structure was very important for us to go through the journey together. Our mother always died with one thing that she taught all of us. She used to say, "Mweyawe kubatrana." You are supposed to be united. And I strongly believe that unity, that coming together, everyone being there for each other, we didn't care what came from who is doing what, as long as it is done when it's necessary. And we were able to go through the whole process. And then finally, I've never thanked Rumbi, my wife, for particularly holding forth. It was a difficult process, but she was there every day. She was the person taking her for chemotherapy, waiting for her, coming out with her, making sure she's fed. Everything was done, starting with her. Isusu would come in here and there where we were needed, and for that I thank you.
I remember, I'll just highlight a few things that happened that nobody spoke about. I remember her very first chemotherapy. I started feeling funny because I was taking her to, I was going to the hospital every day when she was being drained. I was together with the rest of the family running around to make sure everything is in order for her to get treatment. And while I was doing that, I got COVID, and I felt it. Something wasn't right. I was driving, and then I called Ty, and I said, "I'm not feeling well." He's like, "Where are you?" I was like, "I'm by." We were supposed to go for tests. She was supposed to get COVID tests for her to get checked into hospital. Then I said, "I'm by the lab. I'm supposed to get tests." And then he's like, "Don't even drive, my sister. I am coming there." So he got there. I went in for testing, and I tested positive. Now he had 2 people who were potentially dying. His wife.
It was a difficult day.
His wife and his sister. But
and I had to juggle between.
He had to juggle because he had to take me to the hospital, and I was put on a hospital bed, and then I was going through treatment, and then he had to rush with her so that she starts her first session. I started asking him for Maputo, and he needed also to make sure his sister ate. That's one of the highlights of Tete's journey for me. I made a prayer when I discovered she had cancer. I said, "Dear God, not this one, not the other one, not the other one, not my in-laws." You know how people complain about in-laws? I don't have such complaints. And I said, please Lord, do not take this one away from me. Do not take any of my in-laws away from me, because they've been a pillar of strength to me too and my family. Takadai, they've been a pillar of strength, and I came into this family knowing that their survival mode is prayer. So that was my first, well, it's not supposed to be an issue, but it was my first issue. No cancer fashioned against us will prosper. That's what I was expecting. But guess what? Wisdom worked here. As a family, they decided, let's go through the chemotherapy. Let's do what we need to do to make sure Chiedza Lydia is okay. And I strongly believe that that family support, the family unit, got her to where she is today. And ultimately, I would like to thank the Lord, our Lord Jesus Christ. And secondly, I would like to thank her for not giving up on herself, for not giving up on us, and for not giving up on me. And most importantly, I went to the doctor recently, to Dr. Mba, the oncologist that was treating her, and she said something very important about Lydia Chiedza. She said to me, "Do you know that your sister-in-law, I am now calling her for her to give other people that are starting their chemo sessions, so for her to give them strength, for her to give them encouragement." And that alone made me realize, you know what, everything does happen for a reason, and she may be the answer to a lot of people who think they may not survive this deadly disease, but she's a testimony, and may her life continue to be a testimony.
Yeah, she's our miracle.
Yes.
I mean, looking at where she was last year and where she is right now, she's a problem. She doesn't want to see.
She's a smart mouth.
She wants to move
Yeah,
around.
she likes to carry things.
You know, and when you look back to where we were last year, it can only be God. And we thank the Lord for this.
And to everybody that's watching, if you can go and get early detection, go and get early detection for both men and women. Breast cancer is not just for women, it is also for men. So if you feel any kind of lump, do self-testing at home. If you feel anything unusual, visit the doctor. Even if you believe in the Lord Jesus Christ, there's a reason why He gave us doctors. He will work through those doctors and you'll be healed. Thank you.